Good morning, students. Now I am with the brief description of story. As I already told you about the story, Baron Bhomik's ailment, which is related to an ailment not very much common or which is somewhat peculiar disease in itself. And the disease is kleptomania, the compulsion of stealing. It can be termed as a disease or it can be termed as a habit where the patient suffers from psychological problem and due to that he is forced to steal. Now let us take the story and we shall see how things happen in this story. Mr. Barin Bhamek got into compartment D as instructed by the conductor and placed his suitcase under his seat. He would not need to open it during his journey, but he must keep the other smaller bag somewhere within easy reach. It contained such essentials as a comb, a hairbrush, a toothbrush, a shaving kit, a book by James Hadley Chase to read on the way, and several other knickknacks, including throat pills. If the long train journey in a cold air conditioned compartment resulted in a sore throat, he would not be able to sing tomorrow. He quickly popped a pill into his mouth and put his bag on the small table before the window. The story begins with Mr. Baran Bhomik as the main character is introduced, who boards the train, gets himself comfortably seated in the compartment. He puts his bigger baggage somewhere under the seat and he just keeps one small bag with essentials required in a journey. Now, the introduction of that is when he popped a pill into his mouth, that indicates that somewhere he is doing such a job which requires the proper maintenance of throat, because as it is mentioned, there is an indication in the story that in case he gets a sore throat he would not be able to sing tomorrow, and that means that Mr. Baran Bhomik is basically a singer. Now, this was a Delhi bound vestibule train. There were only about 7 minutes left before its departure, and yet there was no sign of the other passengers. Would he be able to travel all the way to Delhi all alone? Could he indeed be so lucky? That would really be the height of luxury. The very idea brought a song to his lips. It is also introduced in the story that train is going to Delhi, and Baran Bhomik certainly is going to Delhi to sing a song or to participate in some cultural function where he has to sing a song. He looked out of the window at the crowd on the platform. Two young men were glancing him occasionally. Clearly, he had been recognized. This was not a new experience. People often recognized him, for many were now familiar not just with his voice but also with his appearance. He had to give live performance at least half a dozen times every month. Listen to Baran Bhomik tonight. He will sing songs written by Nazrul as well as Adhunik. Money and fame both had come to Baran Bhomik in full measure. Now, with this, we know about Baran Bhomik that he is a popular singer who had been involved himself, who had involved himself in many live performances, and that is why not only people recognize him through his voice but his appearance also. And as he was watching, as he was looking outside the window, some people were watching at him, they were able to recognize him. And as it is already mentioned, that he was a man who had everything now, that is, he had a fame, he had a money, everything. However, this had happened only over the last 5 years. Before that, he had to struggle a lot. It was not enough to be a talented singer, he needed a suitable break and proper backing. This came in 1963 when Bhola Da, Bhola Banerjee invited him to sing in the Puja Pandal at Unishpalli. Barin Bhomik had not looked back since then. Now, this is also a story of many struggling artists, and Barin Bhomik also is no less an exception to it. And it is also introduced how he, before 5 years back, he was not a famous entity. He was struggling hard. Only when he was invited by one of his elder brother or his friend like brother, Bhola Da or Bhola and Banerjee, who invited him to sing a song in Puja Pandal at Unishpalli, and there he was acclaimed by public. People accepted him, appreciated him, and then he never had a chance to look back. That is, he got fame and prosperity both together. In fact, he was now going to Delhi at the invitation of the Bengal Association to sing at their Jubilee celebrations. They were paying for his travel by first class and had promised to make all arrangements for his way in Delhi. He intended spending a couple of days in Delhi, then he would go to Agra and Fatehpur Sikri and return to Calcutta a week later. Students, I just want to tell you that the art of narrating is really tremendous on part of Satyajit Ray. How he gradually introduces everything before the reader, and how he first tells about the appearance of Barin Bhomik, how he how was struggling in his early days, and now what is the motto of his ongoing journey, and that is he was going to Delhi to participate in Silver Jubilee celebrations of Bengal Association, and from there he had a plan to go to Agra to Fatehpur Sikri, and it was also mentioned that he would be spending around a week's time in Kolkata. After that, it would be time for puja again, and life would become madly hectic. Your order for lunch, sir, the conductor guard appeared in the doorway. What is available? You are a non vegetarian, aren't you? You could choose between Indian and Western food. If you want Indian, we have got. Baran placed his order for lunch and had just lit a three castle cigarette when another passenger came into his compartment. The same instant, the train began pulling out of the station. Baran looked at the newcomer. Didn't he seem vaguely familiar? Baran tried to smile, but his smile vanished quickly as there was no response from the other hand. Had he made a mistake? Oh God, how embarrassing. Why did he have to smile like an idiot? A similar thing had happened to him once before. He had thumped a man very hard on the back with a boisterous, "Hello, Tridipda, how are you?" only to discover he was not Tridipda at all. The memory of this incident had caused him much discomfort for days afterwards. God laid such a lot of traps to embarrass one. Now, this statement indicates that something more embarrassing is going to happen in the life of Baran Ahmed. The entry of another passenger at the last moment when train was just moving out of the station. He smiled at his co-passenger, but there was no response, and that Non response somehow embarrassed him. He thought why he had smiled at him. But apart from that, as the narrator has indicated, that life gives you so many other opportunities to get embarrassed. Barin Bhomik looked at the other men once more. He had kicked off his sandals and was sitting with his legs outstretched, leafing through the pages of the latest illustrated weekly. Again, Barin got the feeling that he had seen him somewhere, and not just for a few moments. He had spent a long time in this man's company. But when was it and where? The man had bushy eyebrows, a thin moustache, and a shiny hair. His face was certainly familiar. Could he have seen this man when he used to work for Central Telegraph? But surely the whole thing could not have been one sided. His companion was definitely not showing any sign of recognition. Your order for lunch, sir. The conductor guard had reappeared. He was portly, rather amiable gentleman. Well, said the newcomer, we'll worry about lunch later. Could I have a cup of tea first? Of course. All I need is a cup and the beverage. I prefer drinking black tea. That did it. Baron Bhomik suddenly began to feel rather unwell. There was a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach. Then it seemed as though his heart had grown wings and flown straight into his lungs. It was not just the man's voice, but also the words he uttered with a special emphasis, black tea. That was enough to remove the uncertainties from Baron's mind. Every memory came flooding back. Now, students, see somehow what happens when we are not able to recognize, when we are not able to recall our past things. But one single triggering statement can lead us to the proper direction. And that is what happened with Baran Bhumik. Because the moment the co passenger ordered for black tea, that emphasis on black tea just reminded him of something, and he was having butterflies in his stomach because this was a sudden shocking revelation for him. He never expected in his life that this incident would reoccur in such a way. Now there is a suspense for the readers that what is it all? Why he's having, why he's feeling butterflies in his stomach? What is the reason? Why he's so worried? Baran had indeed seen this man before, and that too, strangely enough, in a similar air conditioned compartment of a train going to Delhi. Now the picture is clear. The memories are brushed up, and this is for certain that Baran Bhumik comes to know he is the same man with whom he has travelled in a similar air conditioned compartment when he was, that time also, he was going to Delhi. He himself was going to Patna to attend the wedding of his cousin Shipra. 3 days before he left, he had won a little more than 7,000 rupees at the races. He could therefore afford the luxury of traveling by first class. This happened 9 years ago in 1964. Long before he had become a well known singer, he could vaguely recall the other man's surname. It began with C. Chaudhary, Chakravarti, Chatterjee. The conductor guard left. Baran realized he could no longer sit facing the other men. He went and stood in the corridor outside, well away from his fellow passenger. Yes, coincidences did occur in life, but this one was unbelievable. But had C recognized him? If he had not, there might be two reasons for him. Perhaps he had a weak memory, or perhaps Barin's appearance had undergone significant changes in these 9 years. He stared out of the window and tried to recall what these changes might possibly be. So, students, as you can also understand that what happens suddenly, Baran, everything comes into his mind very clearly, and he recalls that 9 years back he traveled with same man in the same compartment when he was in Patna and he was going to Delhi. Now, the question was, Baran became so, I can say, restless. There was a fear that this man might recognize him, and if he recognizes him, there is going to be a big explosion of incidents, and that was troubling him a lot. But he said he was thinking in his mind, the thoughts were just going into his mind, and he was thinking, what is the reason why this man is not being able to recognize me? There may be two reasons. Either he has a weak memory, or because of his changed appearance, he was not able to recognize him. So now let us see what happens in my next series of lecture. I would tell you, we shall see what suspense and how things would unreveal in the coming days. Thank you so much for today.